Hello everybody, and welcome to the second semifinal episode of War Machines. In the previous episode, we saw Hydra and Icewave punch their ticket into this season's grand final episode, and the last two spots for that will be determined tonight. We have 8 more great machines who will be fighting for those 2 spots. As for our 8 competitors tonight, they were ranked first on whether they were a heat winner or whether they won a wild card in the last chance episode, and then performance in their previous matches. Before I introduce the competitors tonight, I just want to mention that it was very hard to rank the heat winners here, as all of them showed major potential that could lead them to winning the title. You could easily make an argument that someone else should have gotten one of the top seeds. Now let's introduce tonight's semifinalists. Our top seed went to Hypershock. This design is quick, it's low to the ground, and that vertical spinner has provided us with a lot of entertainment through the damage it causes in its heat. This spot is surely a favorite to win the title. Going up against Hypershock, we have the 8th seed, who is the Robot Wars Series 8 champion, Apollo. Apollo got past Thunderchild and Daedalus in the last chance episode to get here, and this flipperbot is not one to underestimate. They look to bully Hypershock and all of their other opponents around with that flipper. We could definitely see an early upset if Apollo achieves all that in this round. For our second matchup of the night, we first have the 4 seed K2, who is the 2-time champion of Bugglebots. This bot really proved themselves a tough one to beat because of that egg beater drum spinner, as they provide us with a major amount of mayhem in their heat. This bot will definitely be one to watch and will be a major challenge for their opponents. Going up against K2, we have a vertical spinner from BattleBots, the 5 seed Endgame. Endgame has some major opponents in their heat and managed to come out on top in all of their fights to get to this place tonight. Better watch out for this vertical spinner, as you won't last long if this bot takes control of the match. Our 3 seed went to Sawblaze. Sawblaze showed a lot of domination in their heat by using their front to scoop up their opponents, where they'll do at least one of drop that saw on them, ram them into the rails, or put their opponents down the pit. Their opponents better be careful to not fall into a similar trap that some of their victims did. Our 6th seed went to Mo from the classic series of BattleBots. While this bot spins out of control quite frequently, this bot is another one of the most destructive bots in the competition through the use of that horizontal spinner. This bot has taken out some major opponents and will be looking to continue that trail of destruction tonight. Tonight's 2 seed went to BattleBots team from Brazil, Black Dragon. Black Dragon is very durable, the wedge makes him quite low to the ground, and they have a nasty egg beater spinner to top it all off. This bot is probably another favorite to take the whole War Machines title. Finally, our 7th seed, which went to Son of Waiachi. Son of Waiachi got past Huge and Lockjaw in the last chance episode to get back into the tournament and be here tonight. Despite being the 7th seed, this full body spinner is a nasty and very destructive weapon, so Black Dragon and all other opponents they fight will need to be extremely cautious about this one. If you haven't seen the first semifinal episode, the semifinals are run a little bit differently than the heats. Like before, the bots will fight bracket style but for a spot in the grand final episode. The top 2 competitors will make it there, as said before, and so we will only do the first 2 rounds of this bracket. Finally, since this is the semifinals and only the best of the best machines remain, all fights will be 2 out of 3. Lots of amazing competitors fighting for the last 2 grand final spots. Who will claim them? Find out as we lead off this amazing episode with Hypershock and Apollo. Should be a very exciting fight. Let the bot battle begin. Here comes Hypershock, getting a few jabs into the sides of Apollo with that vertical spinner. That's going to be something Apollo will want to avoid as much as possible in the match. And there's a flip by Apollo. And another flip. Apollo trying to bully Hypershock around with that flipper as much as possible. Going to try to keep Hypershock on their head as much as possible. That way Hypershock can't use that vertical spinner as easily. There's another flip. Hypershock does have a self-righting mechanism, and they're trying to use it, trying to self-right here. They do self-right, but right onto the flipper of Apollo. Apollo trying to flip them over again, rams them into the rails and gets another flip in. Now Hypershock is on top of Apollo again, trying to use that self-righter to right themselves, and there goes another flip, but Apollo helped Hypershock, but now flips Hypershock again. And now here we go, another flip, and now Hypershock's righted themselves, and another flip, but Hypershock's the right side up. They want some payback for all those flips. Some jabs to the side with that vertical spinner. Apollo opens up the pit, takes a few more shots, pushes them around, and down the pit goes both bots. And because it wasn't clear who went down the pit first, this fight is going to the judges, which will be scored based off of BattleBot's 7-point scale that they use in Season 4, where a bot can get up to 3 points for damage, 2 points for aggression, and 2 points for control. Gotta say though, Hypershock did get some damage in with that vertical spinner, but Apollo did do a lot of bullying with that flipper, so this could be a close judge's decision. As for the judge's decision, the votes were unanimous. The winner, who will have an edge in this one, is Apollo. So I agree with that decision, as Apollo definitely got some aggression and control points that the judges liked through flipping Hypershock many times, as they will have an edge in this one. A victory by Apollo will put the 8th seed in the next round. Now Hypershock needs a win here in match 2 in order to force a match 3 if they are to advance into the next round. Let match 2 begin. So Apollo flips Hypershock over already, and another flip. Apollo trying to bully Hypershock around with that flipper once again, just like last time. Getting some jabs in is Hypershock. Apollo turns towards Hypershock, but now gets some jabs in is Hypershock. Hypershock just not allowing Apollo to get that flipper underneath them. Hypershock just making this not easy for Apollo, as Apollo taking more hits to the sides thanks to that spinner. Trying to get some flips in as Apollo, but struggling to do so. They are struggling to get that flipper underneath them, and there goes some pieces of Apollo. More hits by that vertical spinner. Hypershock flips Apollo over, but Apollo self-rights, and Apollo hits the pit button. It's like, are they going to try and put Hypershock down the pit? But now they lose another piece, as Hypershock got sent flying as well. Hypershock does self-right and hits Apollo, flips him over, and rams Apollo right into the rails. And off comes a wheel of Apollo, and down the pit goes both bots, but because it was clear that Apollo went down first, Hypershock has forced a match 3. So now match 3, winner takes all. Who will advance to the next round? Will it be Apollo or Hypershock? Let match 3 begin. Hypershock already flipped over again. It's been a big problem for Hypershock so far, but now they have self-righted. And Apollo opens up the pit of Oblivion again. The only problem is both bots have been down the pit in both matches, but then one win went to each. Hypershock getting more jabs in with that vertical spinner. That has definitely been a big strength for them in this match, as they've been able to easily get to the sides of Apollo. Oh, and get some hits in with that vertical spinner, and gets to the underside of Apollo. But then Apollo lands right side up. Only takes some more shots from that Hypershock spinner. Hypershock spinner just really powerful here, just not giving Apollo an inch. Apollo struggling to get underneath Hypershock. And there goes some more jabs right onto the underside. Apollo trying to get out of there, just not able to do so. Hypershock is showing no mercy here. I think Apollo has lost a few of their wheels. I think they only have drive on one side right now. That could be a big problem for Apollo. Big hit there, sends both bots flying. Apollo does get to right themselves, and we got smoke coming out of one machine. I think it's Apollo that's smoking. That'll definitely be something to watch here. As Hypershock getting more shots to the sides and to the backside of Apollo. And more wheels come off. Is Apollo out of wheels and motionless right now? They don't appear to have any motion, and a countdown could be coming, so Apollo is just using that flipper. Hypershock does have them pinned in the corner, but I bet we could see a countdown coming, as we see one right there. They did see that Apollo did lose all their wheels, meaning a countdown would be coming. It's looking like this one is going to be a knockout, and Hypershock wins and will advance to the next round, and the 1 seed comes back. We will see Hypershock in the next round take on the winner of our next fight, as we see the Bugglebots 2-time champion K2 take on BattleBots Endgame. Should be an awesome one. Let the bot battle begin. Endgame going right for the pit button. Odd strategy here. As Endgame now gets some hits in on K2. Now Endgame pushing K2 around. Only problem is pieces are flying off. I think those are pieces of Endgame. That egg beater spinner on K2 is definitely doing some damage, as we see pieces of Endgame all across the arena. Looks like both part of the weapon and part of the wedgelets. Endgame clearly has lost their spinner. Endgame with no primary weapon, and their pieces are all around the arena, and now K2 gets flipped. Endgame, I think their big strategy is going to be get K2 down the pit of Oblivion, and they do so, and Endgame wins match 1 and has an edge in this one. Let's see, will K2 recover from that loss here in match 2 and force a match 3. Let match 2 begin. So here we go, a head-on-head collision here as K2 now getting some shots onto the top of Endgame. K2 opens up the pit this time. Are they going to try and put Endgame down the pit? Takes a hit from the sides of Endgame. More shots from that spinner, and Endgame gets tossed down the pit, and the series is even here. And now we will see a match 3 between these two high-tiered competitors. Both competitors proving they want to fight Hypershock in the next round very well. Here's let the match 3 begin. Endgame going right for the pit button once again, but loses a wedgelet in that weapon-on-weapon collision, and another weapon-on-weapon collision, and K2 gets sent flying, but Endgame, are they stuck on the floor? Because they are moving quite awkwardly right now. That could definitely be troubling if Endgame can't get out of there. It's like they get freed now, but now we gotta face the might of K2 here, as K2's flipped over, trying to self-right. So they can technically drive upside down. There's a big weapon-on-weapon shot. Endgame getting some big hits. Same thing with K2. Here's K2 now getting underneath Endgame. And both bots go down the pit of Oblivion. And this one was also unclear, so it goes to the judges. We saw a lot of action in that fight, and I would not want to judge that one, as both bots had some big moments here. So this will definitely be a tough decision by the judges. So now, as for the decision, the votes once again were unanimous. The winner, who will be advancing to the next round, is K2. Yeah, K2 definitely got some efficient blows in there, but you could make an argument that Endgame won that decision, as Endgame got some big hits in there too. Great season and by Endgame, and great fight by both bots here, as we will see K2 in the next round as they will take on the top seed Hypershock. That should be an excellent fight, but let's get down to the bottom 2 matches first before we see that one. Coming up next, we have the 3 seed, a nasty Sawbot, Sawblaze, as they'll be taking on the 6 seed Mo, who has a nasty horizontal spinner at their hand. This should be one heck of a fight, and one awesome one to see. Let the bot battle begin. Mo getting that weapon for speed and takes a hit from the front of Sawblaze. Sawblaze coming in, dropping that saw right on Mo. That's definitely going to be a big problem, as that top side is very exposed there. And some big hits. We see some pieces fly off. Pieces of Sawblaze most likely. And Mo's got to get off Sawblaze here before they take too much damage. Some big shots to the front of Sawblaze. Mo spinning out of control. Sawblaze has lost 2 wheels. They can only drive on one side now. There's big trouble for Sawblaze early. This could have been a massive game changer. Sawblaze looking like they were going to control a big part of this fight here, but now they have lost a big chunk of their mobility. Could we see a countdown coming soon if Sawblaze can't leave their circumference? Mo getting that spinner up to speed. I think they're going to try and go in for more hits. Big hit. Part of the saw just came off, and one of the wheels came off, I think, too. Leaving Sawblaze down to 1, possibly 2, as that might have been just my imagination, or one of the 2 wheels that fell off earlier. Here we go, Sawblaze weaponless, spewing up lots of flame. Looks like they are able to leave their circumference, meaning that Mo probably needs to come in for more shots. More hits to the front of Sawblaze. It's from that horizontal spinner. That horizontal spinner proving to be just devastating here. As Mo proved how powerful that thing was when they took on Whiplash, Monsoon, and the rest of their heat. But now they are showing that power off to Sawblaze here. Sawblaze was taking out a bunch of horizontal spinners in their heat. Some big jabs to the front of Sawblaze from that spinner. There's both bots take a shot from the floor flipper. Sawblaze takes another one here. And Mo comes in, gets another shot in with that horizontal spinner. 1 minute left to go in this fight, and I think Mo definitely has the lead on points here. They have the 3 seed. He's trapped in a corner here. There's not much that Sawblaze can do with those lost wheels. But Mo's got to be careful they don't take themselves out. Looks like Sawblaze lost another wheel. Then they do have 1 left, it looks like. So they are still able to drive, at least in circles, and get out of their circumference part of the time, clearly. Countdown on Sawblaze coming. It's like they do leave that circumference zone, so the countdown is turned off. But now here comes Mo again. Another big shot. Mo's got to be careful they don't spin themselves out of control and possibly damage themselves. Off comes the last wheel with less than 20 seconds to go. Mo just hanging back. 10 seconds to go. It's looking like Sawblaze is going to get saved by the bell here. It's looking like this fight's going to go to the judges, but Mo's coming in for a couple last shots here. Trying to get some more points and hopefully seal a victory as this fight is going to the judges. As this fight will be judged the same way as the first 2 fights. Gotta say, this is probably going to be an easier decision, knowing Sawblaze barely got out of this fight alive. But let's find out how the judges saw it, as you never know what could happen when a fight is thrown into their hands. Now for the decision. The votes were unanimous in favor of Mo, as I agree with that, as Mo caused big time damage in that fight, and Sawblaze barely came out of that alive. Barely avoiding the count out here, as now we have match 2 coming right now. Sawblaze in the hole right now. They need a win in order to force a match 3. Let match 2 begin. Mo getting that sprint for speed. Sawblaze charging at them, box rushing them just like last time. Pushing Mo right into the corner. Sawblaze dropping that saw, but still taking some massive damage from that horizontal spinner. Here comes Sawblaze charging at them. That's the best way to win this fight. Just continue charging at them. Try to prevent that spinner from getting up to the speed. There's a shot to the front of Sawblaze. Is from Mo. Couple of blows from that saw. And off comes the wheels. Off comes all of the wheels on the right side. Sawblaze now has drive on one side once again. And there's still more than 2 minutes to go in this fight. Sawblaze is in trouble early again, but Mo's got to be careful not to take themselves out in the process here. Those Mo might be seeing victory here, but they got to be careful because Sawblaze could very easily change that. Big hit by Mo. Part of the saw came off, part of Sawblaze's weapon. Mo's getting that spin up to speed, trying to cause more mayhem, possibly trying to go for those other wheels. Now Sawblaze lost the remainder of their weapon. They are now weaponless again. And a little more than half of this fight to go. Mo just proving just how powerful that horizontal spinner, and there's smoke coming out of them. Mo's now got to be careful. They're not turning off that weapon. They still got to be very careful here as this match is theirs for the taking, but if they're not careful, something could very easily happen and could result in Sawblaze coming out on top. So more shots to the backside of Sawblaze into the sides. They're trying to go for those other wheels, but having a hard time doing that. Just hit after hit coming from that horizontal spinner. That thing is just so brutal, just showing no mercy on Sawblaze. Another big hit. Mo getting that spinner for speed, coming in more shots, more pieces coming off of Sawblaze. It's like they are down to one wheel left, but they are still able to drive and get out of their circumference here. So we have a little more than 30 seconds to go in this fight. More bits coming off of Sawblaze, pieces of them all across the arena. And Mo just continuing to be on the attack, just trying to cause more damage, get more damage points, get that last wheel. Looks like they got that last wheel. Sawblaze is motionless right now. Could a countdown be coming soon? 12 seconds left to go. 10 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like Sawblaze, even though they are being counted out, they are going to be saved by the bell for a second time tonight. This fight will also be going to the judges. And I gotta say, this decision may be similar to the last one. Now, as these fights will be scored same way as always, as you know before. Now that the judges' votes are in, let's see what they had to say. The winner by unanimous decision is Mo, as I agree with that decision completely, as Mo just showed a lot of domination over Sawblaze once again, and Mo will be advancing to the next round where they will take on the winner of our next fight, Black Dragon versus Son of Waiachi. Gotta give a lot of credit to Sawblaze, even though they did not make it out of this round. They had a great season this year, showed a lot of potential and domination during their fights, and it'll be very sad to see them go here. So next up, let's see who will take on Mo. Will it be the Egg Beater of Black Dragon or the Full Body Spinner of Son of Waiachi? Should be a very exciting fight. Let the bot battle begin. As here comes Black Dragon. Black Dragon takes a jab to the front by Son of Waiachi. Son of Waiachi spinning out of control. But then they right themselves with Black Dragon is now on the attack. And takes some shots as Son of Waiachi. And Son of Waiachi's flipped over out of control on their side right now. Comes Black Dragon trying to take advantage of that. Big hits to the underside of Son of Waiachi there. Son of Waiachi just spinning out of control here. Taking some more shots from that Egg Beater. Black Dragon has the design advantage up front and is using that to their advantage. There goes a big piece of Waiachi's spinner. And another shot, and another shot to the underside. Pieces of Son of Waiachi coming off here. Right now they got that full body spinner going. They are smoking up right now. More pieces coming off of somebody. Looks like some bits of Black Dragon's spinner have come off too. That could be something to watch here, but still, Son of Waiachi flipped over. Son of Waiachi taking some big time damage here in the first minute, 15 seconds. And now Black Dragon about to come on the attack again. Another shot, another weapon on weapon shot, and Son of Waiachi spinning out of control again. They are losing some of the, looks like they've lost majority of the teeth on their spinner. Black Dragon has lost part of the front to their bot as well. That will be something to watch. But then, of course, the damage just continuing to stack up on Waiachi here as they are still spinning out of control, flipped over. And off comes one of the arms of that full body spinner. We have never seen something like that before. This is just brutal for Son of Waiachi as the damage is just massive here. This is one of the worst beatings we have seen all season with less than a minute to go in this fight. Son of Waiachi just trying to do something. They are underneath Black Dragon but unable to do much. That full body spinner just in pieces. Black Dragon just showing what they can do with that Egg Beater and doing it very well as they are causing massive amounts of damage to Son of Waiachi, and Son of Waiachi just can't do much about it. And Black Dragon turns them over on their sides, rams them into the rails. The points are just stacking up big time for Black Dragon here with 20 seconds to go, but the countdown is going on Waiachi and they can't move. Either their motors have all burned out or they've lost all their wheels as Son of Waiachi's been counted out and Black Dragon wins match 1. Now Son of Waiachi, they need to win match 2 and force a match 3 if they are to win and advance to the next round. Let match 2 begin. Son of Waiachi's definitely going to be a lot more cautious about that vertical spinner after last time. There's a shot by Waiachi. And another blow, another couple of shots that sends Waiachi into the rails. They want to avoid that as much as possible. Some collisions there. And now Black Dragon getting underneath Waiachi sends them flying. Already a big piece of Waiachi's come off. I think it was one of the teeth of that spinner. And off comes more pieces. Black Dragon starting to get some shots with that vertical spinner. This could very easily turn out like last time if Waiachi isn't careful here. And we saw one of the biggest beatings of the entire season in the last match. Here comes Waiachi and Black Dragon going for another weapon-on-weapon clash. So Waiachi is sending Black Dragon back a few times. But now they are flipped over and out of control. Here comes Black Dragon for some more blows. Here comes Black Dragon. Black Dragon continuing to stack up the damage on Waiachi here. Another shot that sends Waiachi flying and into the corner. They are flipped over again. Here comes Black Dragon with that egg beater again, trying to cause more damage as they have. Here comes Black Dragon again. Waiachi still spinning out of control. They are back to stabilized again. They've lost all the teeth to their spinner. It's going to make it harder for them to connect an efficient blow on Black Dragon here. They are still spinning out of control again. So Waiachi spent a lot of these two fights on their head. That's definitely caused them big time here. As we have a little more than a minute to go in this fight. Here, as they are out of control, they are flipped over again. Here comes Black Dragon. Minute to go in this fight. I gotta say, Black Dragon definitely has the lead on points here if this was to go to the judges. There goes Waiachi spinning out of control again, trying to self-right here, but then struggling to do so. Now Black Dragon on the attack again. Waiachi trying to get some breathing room. They are smoking quite badly. They do open up the pit. Nope, get their spinner going again. And now here comes Black Dragon on the attack. It's underneath them. It's another shot to the underside, and Waiachi's flipped again. 30 seconds to go in this fight. And the control board is down, resulting in a win for Black Dragon, and Black Dragon moves on to the next round with 2 dominant victories. The 2 seed's next opponent will be the 6 seed Mo, who has left most of their opponents in bits and pieces right now. Will Black Dragon be Mo's next victim? We'll find out later after we see the top seed Hypershock take on the 4 seed K2. So that should be one heck of a match. Let the bot battle begin. Hypershock going right after K2 and gets a flip in, and a bit of K2's egg beater comes off, and a bit of probably Hypershock came off too. Some weapon-on-weapon shots here. As K2's flipped over, they'll definitely struggle to win the ground game while upside down here, and that's going to be key to this fight. Here comes Hypershock after K2 lands another weapon-on-weapon shot. Another blow from Hypershock. Looks like pieces of their vertical spinner have been coming off. That vertical spinner has been taking damage from K2's egg beater. That'll definitely be something to watch here. K2, even upside down, they're still on the attack. They are flipped over. They're flipped back over, right side up. But now part of Hypershock's wedge, part of K2's egg beater have come off. Now K2 seems to have efficient push power, and both bots go down the pit. But because Hypershock clearly went down first, K2 wins round 1, and Hypershock is in a hole. Hypershock needs to win match 2 in order to stay in this tournament here. So let match 2 begin. Hypershock thinking about going right for the pit button, but instead circling around K2. And K2 takes a shot, gets some airtime, and Hypershock is now underneath K2. And off comes, looks like a wheel. K2 has lost a wheel. K2 has never had this issue until this fight. K2 has lost part of their mobility. This will definitely be something to watch here. Is K2, they might have had issues with being flipped over, but now they are having issues with part of their mobility. Hypershock opens up the pit. Are they going to try to put K2 down the pit of oblivion? More action from that vertical spinner of Hypershock. Now Hypershock is flipped over themselves. They do have a self-righting mechanism. They got to right themselves quick. Right now they were only doing some flips until that last one. Looks like pieces of K2 coming off. Looks like part of one of the forks up front. It'll definitely make it harder for K2 to get underneath Hypershock. But now Hypershock trying to lead K2 towards the pit. Hypershock better be careful they don't take themselves out in the process. As Hypershock, one last push, and K2 is down the pit, and Hypershock has evened up the score. Can Hypershock come back for the second time this episode here? Is match 3 about to begin? Winner takes all, and the winner will advance to the grand final. So let match 3 begin. Weapon on weapon action here. That was a mistake for Endgame. Could it be a mistake for Hypershock too? Pieces of Hypershock coming off and all around the arena. And that may just be all of Hypershock's vertical spinner. That may have just been very costly here, as Hypershock may be weaponless now. And now K2 coming at them with a fully functional egg beater, looking to cause some mayhem here. Some big action going on. K2 starting to stack up the damage on Hypershock. Part of that wedge has come off. That thing is not looking normal. Hypershock opens up the pit of oblivion, and K2 takes a shot. They are flipped over though, so Hypershock may have the advantage in ground game right now. Here comes Hypershock trying to show some push power on K2. Now K2's righted themselves, and Hypershock is flipped over again, trying to use that self-righter, and Hypershock is out of the arena! And K2 wins and claims tonight's first grand final spot, and where they will join Icewave and Hydra from the previous episode. Who will join these three bots and claim the last grand final spot? Will it be Mo or Black Dragon? Should be in a very exciting match and a very good one to end the night. Let match 1 begin here. Mo getting that spinner up to speed, coming at Black Dragon, trying to get to those wheels, it looks like. Like that seems to be Mo's strategy, try to get to one of those two exposed wheels here, like what they were doing with Sawblaze. But now Black Dragon underneath Mo, and Mo is smoking up once again. That has been a big issue for them all episode. Here comes Black Dragon on the attack again. Mo rams themselves into the rails, but that'll definitely be something they want to avoid. Here comes Black Dragon, some weapon-on-weapon exchanges. Off comes a wheel of Mo. That will definitely be something to watch here, as Mo has lost 2 wheels. Mo has lost their drive on one side now. This could be a big problem for them. Looks like part of Mo's horizontal spinner has come off too. Black Dragon showing a lot of domination in the first minute of this fight here. A shot to the side from that horizontal spinner. Black Dragon will want to try to avoid those as much as possible. And now down goes the control board, and Black Dragon has an edge in this one. Now Mo needs match 2 in order to force a match 3 and advance to the next round. Let match 2 begin here. Mo getting that spinner to speed. Looks like they are going to be hopefully a little more cautious as Black Dragon's vertical spinner takes a few weapon-on-weapon shots. Now here Black Dragon is on the attack again, trying to go for the control board and those exposed wheels once again. Mo getting that spinner to speed, gets a jab to the front of Black Dragon. Now Mo trying to get to the sides. They do get a shot right on the sides of Black Dragon. There's a shot from that horizontal spinner. Mo getting some more jabs in with that spinner. And gets flipped, and they lost a wheel once again. Now Black Dragon is flipped over after taking a shot from the floor flipper. This could be big trouble for Black Dragon if they're not careful here. Mo looks like they missed the target. They were going to try to open up the pit, but now instead they're on the attack right now. They have that spinner going. Takes a few more shots as Black Dragon. Another blow from that horizontal spinner. That horizontal spinner just so powerful. There are pieces of Black Dragon across the arena along with one of Mo's tires. Now there goes some more shots, and now Black Dragon is righted. But now Mo on the attack. They're trying to get to the sides, trying and keep Black Dragon from getting to their sides. But now more pieces of Black Dragon have been flying off. More shots from that horizontal spinner. Lots of action here. Halfway through this fight here, and I gotta say, it's been relatively even here as both bots have gotten moments. Minute 10 left to go in this fight right now. Black Dragon trying to keep Mo from getting to their wheels. Mo trying to avoid that spinner and doing a great job at it right now. 1 minute to go in this fight. Couple jabs to the sides from that horizontal spinner. Off comes a piece of the front of Black Dragon. But now here comes Mo again on the attack with that spinner going, and off comes Black Dragon's left wheel. Black Dragon has now lost half of their mobility. Has the fight completely turned here? Black Dragon was definitely winning it in the early part. Mo started to get some points on the board, but now may have turned the tables after knocking off that wheel of Black Dragon. Less than 30 seconds to go here. Can Mo get Black Dragon down the pit of oblivion? Black Dragon is not going to make that easy, as they do have the design advantage up front with that wedge. 10 seconds to go in this fight. Black Dragon just getting some last shots in there. It's looking like this fight is going to go to the judges. So the clock hits 0, and I would not want to judge this fight, as this is probably the closest fight of the night. Even though Black Dragon did lose half of their mobility, they did get some big damage and some big weapon action at the beginning of this fight. So this could be a much closer fight than what was seen at the end of this battle. So now the decision. The judges unanimously scored this fight in favor of Mo, as I agree with that decision. While Black Dragon did get some major weapon damage at the beginning of this fight, and Mo did lose a wheel at the beginning of the fight, the tables definitely turned when Black Dragon lost one of their tires in that fight. How will Black Dragon respond to this fight, as match 3 is coming up soon, and winner takes all, and winner will get the final spot in this season's grand final. Let match 3 begin. Big weapon on weapon shot. Black Dragon coming into that vertical spinner. Mo's already smoking. Black Dragon showing a lot of aggression early. That's definitely a good thing for a fight like this. And down goes the control board, and Black Dragon wins. That is how they respond. They respond with a 14-second knockout and claim the 4th and final spot in this season's grand final. Big congrats to the other 6 bots in this semifinal episode as well. The 6 of them did not make the grand final. They all made it very far in this tournament and had a great season here. Now, as for the next episode, we will start it off with the semifinal matchups, as we will see K2 take on Hydra, and we will see Black Dragon take on Ice Wave to lead off the episode. And then there are 4 exhibition fights planned, all just for fun here. And then we will end it all with the 3rd place fight, and then the grand final fight, where we will crown a champion of War Machines Season 1. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching this episode. Thanks for all your support. Be sure to hit the like and the subscribe button, as I will see you next time in the grand final episode. Good night. Something else I would like to mention is that after the grand final episode, I will host one last episode which will feature bonus fights. These are all just for fun, and the bots that fight in it will be first decided by you guys, and second by me. So basically, if you would like to request a competitor's participation in this episode, simply reply to this video or the next episode with up to 3 bots you would like to see competing in this. My plan is to have this slide at the end of the next episode as well. Any bot who participated in the 12 heats are allowed to be a part of this tournament, so be sure to reply to this with your requests. I will be accepting requests until October 3rd, which is the weekend before this episode will be released.